Hi there, Z here. So if you recall, in the first video, I talked about 4 different options in terms of how you can achieve this task of protecting and sharing your Excel workbook securely. And in this video, we're going to focus on probably what I call the simplest set of solutions, where you're just using the native Excel protection. It's not the strongest, but it definitely is something that almost anybody can do. So we'll be looking at a few different examples, starting from a really simple one and building up to something that uses Excel's VBA macros. So before I get into the details first, maybe it's worthwhile talking a bit around what it means to protect a workbook. So if you look in Excel, and you may have a different version, and that's fine. If you go into Info and you click Protect Workbook, you see that there are a couple of different levels of protection. So there is this thing called Encrypt with a Password that stops people from opening your book without a password. And there are lower level protections as well. That one, protect your worksheet structure, stops people from adding, revealing and hiding sheets, and another one that is a bit more detailed around protecting a specific sheet within the workbook. So it's important to appreciate that there are different levels of protection. So it's not just protect your workbook, but protect it how exactly. So with that out of the way, we're going to get into a couple of examples. So you might want to go back and watch the earlier video if you haven't, but this is the example file that we'll be using for all the videos onwards. And this version is a completely unprotected base model, so you can do anything you want with it. All the information is open for all to see, and in practice you may not want to, so you might want to do some things like hide these sheets and then protect the information. So that's a simple matter of just hiding it and going into protect sheet, protect workbook, and people can't get into that. And if you really want to, you can also go to that earlier step and then start encrypting the book with a password. So what that looks like, because I've already done it, like a good TV chef, I've got an example ready, is this one. So this is an example of how you could do it, where you basically hide the information that you don't want, and you also slap on a password to open Spreadsheet just to be safe. So for reference, I'm going to put all passwords as weak, W-E-A-K, no caps. And so in this version, password protected, you can't change anything. The only thing that you can change is the yellow cells. So you can type in numbers here, you can see how the charts change, but the user has no access purportedly, because he can't hide and unhide. He can't unprotect the sheet unless he has the password, and he basically can't get hold of it. This is not very strong though, because there are ways around this, but that's not something that I'm going to cover in the video, but it definitely is the simplest way to do it. Now, building on this, I'm going to show you a couple of slightly more advanced versions of this. So you can also start using macros. So here's an example of a macro that helps you to protect the sheet, but in a way that you notice when I opened it, it wasn't asking for a password. But you'll notice that something really weird's going on, because the charts are blank, and it doesn't matter what you type in, it's sort of dead. And there's a little box here that says enter your email to unlock the tool, and if I try to click it, it says please input your email to unlock. So I'm just gonna do that like a okay, and when I do that, what you see is that it gets activated. So now suddenly I can see the information. I still can't get hold of the hidden sheets. I still need to unprotect it. and I still can't amend anything on it. But once I click this button, there's a click me button. We're just going to do that. And what it does is it launches a email automatically, and I've made this sort of voluntary, just so that it's not something like an imposition. But what it does is that it sends out an email to whoever you want it to be, and it basically is a way of sort of keeping track of who's been using the tool. So still not super secure, but maybe a slight improvement over the previous one. And if you try to click it again, it says that you've already unlocked the tool earlier, so you don't have to keep on doing it because the tool is already unlocked. So that's one way of doing it, using a macro. So let me just shut this down. I'm not going to save this. There's also a extension of this, where this one is a slightly fancier version of what you just saw, where you limit the amount of times the spreadsheet can be open. So you can see that it's also protected. You can't do anything here, can't tap, and if you were to do the same thing, so it works exactly the same way. And I'm not going to click the click me, but you see now it's activated. But the difference now is if I hit save, so you remember it said 8 times. If I close it and I reopen it again, it's going to run into a, it's going to count, and it's going to say 7 times. So you can set things to happen when it reaches 0. So I'll give you an example. So I've got another one that is the same file, but basically I've closed it and opened it a number of times, so now it's quite close to getting to 0. So I want to just show you what happens when you get to the end. Say OK, yeah, you save it, and let's just try one more time, because what should happen is that it should refuse to start up. Okay, we've got one more to go. Okay, so by right, it should just close itself and not open at all. So, sorry, you've exceeded a number of times. You click OK, it shuts itself down. So, that's how it works. Now, one thing that I didn't cover is that the macros are also protected. I should have probably mentioned that. So if you go into developer, or you try to view macros, there is a macro, but you can't see it because I've set it to private. And I've also protected the macros, so you can't get to the macros unless you have the password. And again, the password is weak. So if you're interested in how it works exactly, I've also put in the code in a text file. So you don't have to unlock it if you're too lazy, but you need to look at the relative cells, and this is the other file. So it should be noted that these sort of Excel macro-based solutions are not very secure, and they're fairly easy to sort of crack open. Again, a bit beyond the scope of this video, but I thought I'd just sort of leave you that fair warning. But having said that, it's still relatively simple to implement, and if probably enough to deter casual users from trying to abuse your spreadsheet.